third. That means in the root node, the key value it should be having greater than the key value which is there in the left node, and the value which is present in the right node should be greater than the value which is present in the root node. If the values in the binary tree are all ordered in such a manner, then that tree is known as an ordered binary tree. That is same as our binary search tree. So binary search tree is nothing but a variation of binary tree which can be used for an efficient searching of an element in a tree, because all the elements will be in a sorted, or all the nodes value will be in a sorted manner. So you remember our binary search when compared to that of linear search. In binary search, we will be taking only half the amount of time, right? We will be ignoring left or the right half of the linear array. If your search element is greater than the middle element, you remember binary search. In same manner, here we can have an efficient searching in binary tree if the elements in the binary tree are in an ordered manner. So if the ordered binary tree, which is having elements in the left child or the left node lesser than the key value in the root node, then, and also the element or the key value in the right node is greater than the key value in the root node, then that type of tree or binary tree is named as an ordered binary tree or a binary search tree. So it is used for an efficient searching method. So ordered binary tree can be used for searching of an element in an efficient manner. Otherwise, we will end up in searching and comparing each element in the node. Got it? So if it is an ordered binary tree, we can just ignore either the left child or right child by searching with the root element. We will be able to understand whether the search key or the search element is present in the right child or in the left child. So that based on the value which is stored in the nodes, we can have two more categories. One is known as an ordered binary tree, which is nothing but our binary search tree. The second one is our unordered binary tree, in which no ordering is followed. So the simple binary tree can be considered as an unordered binary tree, while binary search tree is an example for an ordered binary tree. So that was yesterday's class.
Data structure can be represented by two methods, either using the sequential representation using arrays or using the linked list representation. So in linked list representation, we are able to make a dynamic binary tree. While using array representation, the array size, as we have mentioned in the beginning itself, it will be a static representation.
So as we have seen for all other data structures till now, binary tree can also be represented or implemented in computer memory either using array representation or using linked list representation. As we have seen till now, linked list representation will be helpful in making a dynamic list of binary tree, right? We will be able to add up more nodes into binary tree because there is no limit to the size of the linked list as we make dynamic allocation. As of now, as many number of nodes are required, we can keep on increasing it as we have dynamic allocation in linked list. So in array representation, we are not going for that dynamic allocation and all. We can do it, but we are not considering the dynamic allocation. When we implement program, array size is defined in the beginning, right? We will be making a static allocation of the array size, and the array representation of the binary tree is also known as sequential representation. Is it clear? So I can either name it as sequential representation or array representation, and the dynamic node representation or linked list representation. So first we will see array representation of binary tree. In array representation of the binary tree, a one-dimensional array is used, as we have seen for all other data structure representation. Here also we will be making use of a single dimensional array to store the values of the binary tree. So the array representation is done by getting the values from the binary tree in the breadth first order. Tell me what is breadth first order? BFS, you remember, you studied, right? DFS and BFS traversal. So if you take the BFS of this graph or this tree or the binary tree, what order of the elements will be got? In the same order, elements will be represented in the one-dimensional array. So what is that BFS? We will be first taking the chart vertex. Are you able to hear now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will select one of the vertex as the starting vertex. We will explore all its adjacent vertices, and then we will be enqueuing it in the queue. And then after discovering all the elements, we will dequeue the element which is at the front of the queue. And then whichever vertex is at the front of the queue again will be explored, right? So the same method will be considered for the array representation of the binary tree, that is breadth first order. So in which order it will be coming? First, which is the vertex we are taking as a starting vertex? The root node, right? When I had taken BFS and DFS, I had told you also, in graphs, as we don't have any root node, we are selecting a vertex as the starting vertex. Here in trees, we have a root node. So we will be starting the root node as a starting vertex. Now from A, what are the two adjacent vertices of A? We will be exploring B and C. So we will enqueue B and C. After that, we will be dequeuing A because it is fully explored. Then which is the element which is at the front of the queue? B will be at the front of the queue. So we will be exploring what all nodes are there for, adjacent nodes are there for vertex B. For vertex B, what are the adjacent vertices? It is having E and F.
E, F.
So we will enqueue E and F. So when we finish enqueuing of E and F, that is, we have explored all the adjacent vertices of B, means we will dequeue B from the queue. Then what we will do? We will be checking which is the vertex which is at the front of the queue. Now C will be at the front of the queue. So C will be explored now. So which are the vertices for adjacent vertices for C? C will be having G and H. So we will be exploring G and H. We will enqueue the vertices G and H. So this will be the order or the BFS order for traversing the vertices in the breadth first order or of the binary tree. So in this same order, we will be inserting elements into the one-dimensional array. So we will see in the next slide. So here this is the array representation of this binary tree. So before moving into that, one or two points are there. Array representation shows the tree data. As I told, it will be going by the level by level, scanning the elements in the node level by level. So the breadth first or BFS will be scanning and inserting the elements in the level by level. As you can see in the previous example, which is the level 0. In level 0, how many nodes are there? Only one node.
One.
Right? So level by level means after levels, in level 0, we will be inserting A into the array. And in level 1, we have 2 nodes. So it will be B and C. In level 2, we have 4 nodes. We will be inserting E, F, G, H. So this will be the order of inserting the elements in the node into a one-dimensional array. So we will be inserting in level by level order. That is same as BFS order. Now, index 0 is left as null, or we can store the total number of nodes present in the binary tree. Here, how many nodes are present? 7 nodes are present, right? So we can indicate in index number 0. What is index number? An array will have an index number, right? So in index number 0, either we can store null or we can store the size or the number of nodes present in the binary tree. So index 0 is left out. It is not used for storing the root node. It is stored, either it will be storing a null value or it can be used for storing the number of nodes present in the binary tree. Now in index 1, we will be storing the root node value. Whatever is the root node value, here the root node value is A. It will be stored in index number 1 of the array representation. Now, if some nodes are missing in binary tree, if some nodes are missing, we have, as we are representing a binary tree, we are leaving the blank space or the null space for any of the nodes if it is missing. So we are taking a maximum of 2 child for each of the parent or each of the node. If any of the nodes are missing, if there is only 1 node or if there is only 0 node, no nodes present, means we are leaving blank space for the nodes which are absent. So these are the points which we have to keep it in mind. Now one more point which we have to understand is, if the root node, you can consider each node and its branches as a subtree, right? Yesterday we had seen what is a subtree. If the root node is at index I, then its left and right children are stored in the indexes. Left child will be stored at 2 into I position, that is the index number. I'll explain this after going back to that. After seeing the representation, if we come back, we'll understand. I'm just giving you a brief introduction. So index, if the parent node or the root node is at index I, then its left child will be at the position or index number 2 into I, and its right child will be at the index number 2 into I plus 1. So I will explain this after seeing this. So in this array representation, as I had told you, how many nodes are present in this? How many nodes are present?
10, ma'am.
10 nodes are present, right? And E is not having, the vertex E is not having any child node. F is not having any child node. And then we have to make a one-dimensional array, as I had told before. And then what is the thing which we have to do is, for index number 0, you know, an array will be having index number, right? So in index number 0, we can either leave it as null or we can store the number of nodes present in the binary tree, right? So here we have 10 nodes, right? So we will be storing the number of nodes present in the binary tree in index number 0. Is it clear? Then in index number 1, we will be storing the value of the root node. What is value of the root node? Value of the root node is A. So we will be storing the value of the root node at index number 1. Then we will be going level by level. Root node is at level 0. And then at level 1, what all nodes are present? B and C. So we will be inserting B. So this is
B and C.
so this is same as BFS order. First we will be exploring the root node, and then we will explore the adjacent node in this order, right? So we will be inserting B. So first the starting vertex A, and then adjacent vertices of A is B and C. We explored B and C, so we will be enqueuing B and C. And then what we have to do, we have to remove A from the linked list, A from the queue, or we have to dequeue A from the queue. Then which element is on top? It will be B. So what we have to do, we have to explore the vertices of adjacent vertices of B. What are the adjacent vertices of D? It is, which is
D and E.
D and E. So we will be inserting D and E. Now we will dequeue B from the queue. Then which is on top or which is at the front? C is at the front. So we will be exploring the vertices which are unvisited. A is already visited, so we are ignoring. Then which is unvisited? F and G. So we will be enqueuing F and G, right? So similarly, so then we will be dequeuing. Then we will see that D, right? D is in front of the queue. So we will be exploring the adjacent vertices which are unvisited for the vertex D. So we will be enqueuing H and I. So we will enqueue H and I. So D is fully explored. So we will be dequeuing D, and then we will see what are the adjacent vertices of E. Which is unvisited. Adjacent vertex, B is also adjacent vertex, but it is visited. So we will be dequeuing E as it does not have any other. So similarly, as we do either BFS or level by level traversal or scanning of the binary tree, we will get the same order. So first is A, and then B, C, and then the next level is D, E, F, G, and in the next level we'll have H, I, J. So this will be the order. So in the as I told in the previous slide, if any of the nodes are not having any child nodes, here E is not having child nodes, right? Both the child nodes are absent. Hey, 1 second, I didn't mention that one. Sorry, that error I made. Is it correct? If you G, H, I, yeah, correct. Okay. For E, we don't have any. Then F. Okay, correct. So here, if any of the vertices is not having any child node, here E is not having any child node. So what we have to do? We have to insert null into the, tell me, we have to insert null into the positions where we don't have any child node, right? So for when we traverse and come to the, which level is this? This is level 0, 1, 2, and 3. In level 3, we will be inserting H and I, which are child nodes of D. After that, when we come or when we traverse, we will see that, or in the level 2, we can see that E is not having any adjacent or child nodes. So we are leaving 2 null in the one-dimensional array. Again, F is not having any child nodes, right? We are here F is missing 2 child nodes as it is a binary tree. So we are again inserting 2 nulls. And then G is having only 1 child node. So we are as it is shown as a right child, we are inserting a null for the left child, and then the one which is there we are inserting as a last element or in index last index. Is it clear? So wherever child nodes are absent, we have to insert null. Are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then now to find the index number of the parent and the child. If the index number of the parent is given, where is index calculated? We will be calculating the index number in the binary, in the one-dimensional array, right? Here we have the one-dimensional array representation of the tree which is given on the left side. Now, suppose we are going to implement one program using binary tree, and I want to find the index of the parent, or if you want to find the index of a child node of a parent, both ways. If child node is given, if I want to find the index of the parent, then what we have to do? So here there is a formula. If the index of the parent is given, then the index of the child one, which is the left child of that, is given as 2 into parent index. So here, where will be our root index stored? What will be the index number of the root element? Which is the root element, or the root is given at A, right? What will be the index of the root element in the binary and in the one-dimensional array?
1, ma'am.
So what will be the index of the child element, right? So we will be finding the from the binary tree, we can understand that there are 2 child nodes, which is B is the left child and C is the right child. To find the index number where this left child will be stored, is given as 2 into the parent. So this in this stream, A is the parent of the child B and C, right? A is the parent and B and C are the child. So B is the left child. So to get the index number where the first child or the left child is stored is got as 2 into index of the parent. What is index of the parent? Index of the parent is 1, means index of the first child will be 2 into 1, that is index 2. Now index of the right child is 2 into index of the parent plus 1. So here index of the parent is 1, means 1 into 2 plus 1. So the right child will be at index number 3. Now consider another example. What will be, tell me, so Nikita P, tell me what will be the index number of the child B, children of B. Parent index B is given as 2, right? Index of parent node B is 2, means where will be the left child of B and what will be the index of the right child of B? Nikita P is there?
No, ma'am, she's not there.
Not there. Then anyone, no? Tanvi. Nobody understood, huh? If index number where we are seeing index numbers as
In one-dimensional array, ma'am.
one-dimensional array. So what is the index number of B in the one-dimensional array?
2.
2.
D is 4, ma'am.
B.
2. For B, 2. Okay, ma'am.
So what are its two child nodes? Child nodes are D and E. From the binary tree, we can understand that 2
4
child.
and 5.
So how to get the index number of the left child of B using this formula? So to get the left child, what we have to do? Left child index number is got by 2 into index of the parent index. What is parent index? Parent index is 2. So to get the index of the left child, 2 into 2 equal 4. So D will be stored at the index number 4. See, D will be, that is the left child will be stored at the index number 4. Now, right child E, from the tree we can understand that E is the right child of vertex or node B. So in order to get the index number of E in the one-dimensional array, which is the right child, what we have to do to get the index number of the right child of B, we have to use the formula 2 into index of the parent plus 1. What is index of the parent? Index of the parent is 2, right? So 2 into
Yes, ma'am.
plus 1, that is 5. So the child, right child, which is E, is stored at the index number 5. So that's the only formula. So we have to get the, if you know the parent index, we will be able to know the index of the child, left child and right child. Now, if you have the child index, then how to get the parent index? Just give by 2. That is, any of the child index is given. Any of the child index is given. So here, child index of I is, I have given the example. Child index of I is, tell me, Tanvi is there. She didn't understand it. What is child index of I? What is the index of I? Index of I? Index number of I in the one-dimensional array representation?
9, ma'am. 9.
They have muted, I think. No? So in order to get the parent of I from the one-dimensional array, what we have to do? Index number by 2.
2. Divided by 2.
9 by 2. That means we will get 4.5. That is 4. It is an integer value. So index number of the parent of I will be 4. That means at 4, whichever index number 4, whichever node value is saved, that will be the parent of index number I. That means D is the parent of I. Understood? Any of the child node you take and index number by 2 will give the corresponding parent index. I hope it is clear. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all are on mute, I think. No, what happened? Did I mute everyone? Okay, give attendance.
Don't know.
Okay. Now to the next slide. So this is only the content for the array representation. So in array representation, we have both advantages and disadvantages. Advantage is we can directly find the index of the parent and child. Using this formula, directly we can find the index of parent and child and directly go and access. That is random access of elements or the nodes. Node values is possible using array representation. And it is good for complete binary tree or full binary tree. We have seen in the last class types of binary tree, right? We can, if you are going for array representation, it is much useful in case of complete binary tree or full binary tree. If you are going only for a binary tree with either 0 or 1 node or maximum 2 node, sometimes we will be having null values. In the example I had kept, right? Some of the nodes are having null values means, or we don't have any child node means, but still we have to store the null value in the array. So it is waste of space. So it is best for the representation of complete or full binary tree. Now, disadvantage is that only, that is memory, it is not memory efficient. It will occupy many space which is not in use. That is in case of binary tree which is not strict or complete binary tree. We will be ordinary binary tree. What is the definition? Each node can have either 0 or 1 or maximum 2.
Maximum
If the
2.
nodes
Yes,
are
ma'am.
and in the nodes in the same level need not have the same or same number of child nodes, right? So we may have nodes with no child nodes, or we may have with a one node. So in that case, we have to store that with a null. So this is a disadvantage of array representation. So these two I have kept in this slide. Now we are moving on to the linked list representation of the binary tree. As we have seen in all other data representation or the data structures, here also we can implement the binary tree data structure using a doubly linked list. So in a doubly linked list or doubly linked list, each node consists of 3 fields. What are the 3 fields? Here two addresses will be stored, and in the center we will have an information or the value, data value or the key value will be stored in the center part. Left and right will be having the address of the left child and the right child. Is it clear? So in order to do the linked list representation in the C program, we will be making use of a struct, right? In struct, what we will be doing, we will be creating a node first. When we are creating a node, we should have one integer or one data value and 2 pointers, right? We should have 2 pointers which are integer pointers in order to store the, what will be the content of a pointer? Pointers will be storing the addresses, right? So in the beginning, those were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Now how many are there? Many are just coming and going, only 8 are there now. Okay, you have given attendance, right? I'll be taking from the chat box. So type yes in the chat box. I'm seeing only that because in between I'm not seeing who all are there. So only 5 minutes left. After that you have to rejoin. So in a doubly linked list, this will be the node structure, right? So okay, this one. In the node structure, in the node in the first in the middle part, we will be storing the information. That is, in case of a binary tree, the value or the key value at each node that will be stored in the information part. Address of the left child will be stored in the left. Address of the right child will be stored in the right. So the root node will contain. Now one more thing is, we will be starting in some implementation they have shown the starting address will be of the root, right? So root node address or the starting address again will be stored in a root node. So the location or the address of the root node of the binary tree again can be stored in another root pointer. That is not required, but still, if it is in order to show where is the starting or the root node, we can have another one small pointer which can have the address of the root node. Now, in the linked list representation, if anyone of the subtree is empty, then the corresponding pointer will be containing a null value. If the left child is absent, then we have to give a null value in the left address, or in the location. No, in each node we have a position to show the left child address. So here we have to give a null value. If right child is absent, then we have to give a null in the location where we have to give address of the right child. If the tree itself is empty, then what we have to do? The root will contain the null value. So I will show how the implementation is done. So the root is a pointer, as I told, which will be having the starting address of the root node. In root node, again we will be having three information. One will be the left child address. Second will be the information or the key value. So in that binary tree, if A is the key value in the root node, A will be stored in the information position. The right child will be having the address of the right child will be stored in the right part. So we'll see how it is done. So here, as we can see, I have given the implementation of the linked list. This is this is a binary tree, and this binary tree is represented over here. So here, root is nothing but, here you can see the root, right? This is only a pointer. Pointers will be storing the address, right? So the starting address, where it will start from the root, right? So I'll be having the starting address of the root node. Which is our root node? A is our root node. So A is our root node. So a root is a pointer. Here what I have shown is a pointer, and it will be pointing to the root node. Got it? So here in this, where is the pointer? So here, what is the information of the root node? Key value is A, right? So we will have A as the key value. In left, what address will be there? Tell me. So here, what are the left and the right childs of A? B is
B and C, ma'am. Left. C is right.
Right. So address of B node. So we have constructed a node for the left child B. Address of this will be stored over here in the root node. Address of the C node will be stored over here. Understood? Now, what are the child nodes of C? We can see that it doesn't have any left child and right child. So what we have to do, as we don't have any address to be stored for the left child and right child, store null.
So represent null.
So here we have to store null. Got it? There is no left and right child. So there is no point in storing the address, right? So we can just give null. In case